One, two, one, two, one, two. Gee, nice. What is the word, my dude?
Hey, you got me there?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, man. Monday the 3rd. That's what I call it. Every day is Monday during the week.
I was about to say, what the hell is you? What is you talking about? You said
Yes,
Monday
yes.
is the third. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yesterday was Monday Junior. So
Okay. That's what's up.
that's the
Um,
vibe.
what did y'all actually do yesterday for the fourth? Did you gotta do anything?
Nah, man, I don't do nothing for that. So I ain't
I was about to throw up. But listen, I was just wondering, man. Matter of fact, I really wish that we can get Jada's dude on here. You know what? I'm going to send her the link
do
because
that.
you have to listen to his opinion on the fourth. So just in case she pops in, she's gonna have the link, and then that way we can try to get him on there. Now go ahead. Now tell me a little bit more. You said you don't do nothing about that.
I don't. I mean, I don't know what we got to celebrate. What's ironic is my dad's youngest, well, second to youngest sister. Um, Well, I didn't even meet till like 10 years ago. She lived out in
Okay.
Fresno, but she going down, her husband works in Austin. So she going down to Kyle, Texas, right? And that's where that side of the family originated. But what's so crazy about it, there's a cemetery there that anybody with that last name in the family is buried in, right? So the black ancestors from us are buried right next to the white ancestors.
Okay.
So that's kind of different. I'm like, wow, you have to let me know how that works out because it's got to be crazy to see that. They've been trying to get
Yeah.
me to come down there, and this is from the white ancestors been trying to get me to come down there.
Okay. So you actually be talking to him and stuff like that, chopping it up with him.
Yeah. So there's one who's like a cousin. Her great great grandfather uh, was the one who originated, had the plantation down there. Actually, founded a town
Okay.
down there, Kyle, Texas. Yeah, and but she's just like, you know what? We can't do anything about it. She's like, I never would condone that. She's like, family is family, no matter how it came about. But it is an interesting thing to take into account when we start talking about how a lot of people deal with this.
Right.
That whole concept, a lot of you get all that noise about, well, we weren't alive and nobody that was in slavery is alive right now. But I do applaud them for being like, look, they taking responsibility for it, even though it wasn't something that's theirs.
Right.
So I respect it. On that level, it's still a difficult situation to have to deal with. But I mean, as long as the dialogue is open, you do what it is. I mean, DNA is DNA.
Mm-hmm.
You can't
Yeah.
change that. And as long as people's opinions are in the right place or their intentions are in the right place, then you do what you can do. Um,
Yeah.
so, but as far as us, I mean, on that, we weren't free on,
Hey, and you know what was so crazy that I was thinking about just not too long ago is that they celebrated Juneteenth, right? And then one of the issues that was going on since you talked about Texas, like Texas was one of the last places to even know that they were
Mhm.
supposed to be emancipated. You dig what
Rhino
I'm saying?
place.
You dig
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Rhino
So
place.
y'all don't even know that y'all free. You dig what I'm saying? Ain't nobody told y'all nothing. You dig what I'm saying? And so that's how
And they know, they just like, shh, shh, we ain't gonna say nothing. Just let them
right,
keep working.
right. They ain't
Yeah,
gonna say nothing. And
yeah.
so overall, I think that my man Reaper, that's what we used to call him in the joint because he be rapping and stuff like that. He's got some really good opinions. If anybody else got something that they want to highlight about being emancipated the 4th of July, people are celebrating, and I ain't gonna front, man. I'll get caught up into the text, and somebody will say Happy Fourth to me, and I'll send back Happy Fourth to them. You dig what I'm saying? And it's like right over the head until you like actually sit down and break it down and stuff like that. And I think that's the reason why I took and put the spin on it, emancipated, like physically, mentally, spiritually, like where you at in real freedom. You dig what I'm saying? Because man, it's so many different like holidays that we can probably, like hit it with the iron fist, like Easter, Halloween, and you dig what I'm saying. It's so much that goes on that America has placed onto it, and then so when you see kids Easter egg hunting, or you get them Easter egg baskets and stuff like that. I got a total different opinion on it because I'm more spiritual. So it's like, man, none of that shit matter to me.
But all of those are pagan holidays,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I get
Christmas
it.
was placed on on that particular date is because they were trying to keep people from getting smashed, right? Because they used to just get in some crazy I'll call it debauchery, right? And they were
Right.
like, "No, we gonna change this." It was typically a celebration of, I mean, just people getting toe up. So they like, look, let's move it over here, and we're gonna do this. I mean, and the whole concept of Easter eggs, like, what is that? Like, where's the bunny come in place if this is what we talking about? You're just doing a
Right.
little bit of extra stuff.
Yeah.
And you got the whole Santa Claus thing, where like, wait a minute, I mean, you basically are talking about somebody that's doing breaking and entering. I mean, that's cool now, like, right? We
Like
we
Santa
ain't got
Claus.
no chimney. We don't
Like
have no chimney,
like
right?
Santa Claus got a home event. I knew that out the gate. See, I grew up in Arsenal Courts, right? And
We
so
ain't no chimneys.
exactly. And I'm gonna tell you something. In the courts, I remember me and my sister one time, we learned at the Martin Luther King Center how to do these, like, the little yarn thing where you wrap them around your fingers and you can make this long like
Hmm.
thing. So my
Hmm.
grandmother had like a plastic plant, and we wrapped that plant in some of that yarn, and we put some cards on it. We put like a thing up, but for a long time we already knew like Santa don't come around here. And then
No,
all of these toys come from my grandmother's job, Fresh Pack. So everything that she put in the stuffer stock is like we had already seen him in the first place. You dig what I'm saying? So it's
yeah,
like, no, he ain't brung this. You dig what I'm saying? My grandmama
no,
Mourning brung this.
and I
So
never did the Christmas, that whole Santa thing. For one, is lying to your kids. For two, it is setting unrealistic expectations of what they get. You have them thinking that if they're good, they can get whatever they want to.
right.
No, Santa, he doesn't have a Chinese PS5 plant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Them elves are some talented people. If that's what they can do, like, shit, I want to buy an elf.
Right.
If that's the case, so I don't know. I mean, a lot of it is that, but then holidays, I think, start off as one thing, and then it gets tailored to whatever portion of civilization that's happened at that time. It changes over hundreds of years, and then it becomes something that it didn't even look like in the beginning.
Right. All right. So let me ask you this then.
What
So
up?
I'm a firm believer that knowledge is king. Like when you learn and you get knowledge and you acquire, it's first of all, it's one thing that people can never take from you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you have to like be able to study and be able to break it down. Now, um, me and Jada was having this conversation, and I was like telling her, like, I ain't never told my kids no Santa Claus. You dig what I'm saying? Don't
Never.
go in there and mess with them gifts in there because that's y'all stuff. If you go in there and you look up under it, I'm taking it back and I'm getting my money back. That's how that's
Word.
gonna go. So you
Uh,
dig what I'm saying? Me and Grice, we worked too hard. Either I was in the streets and Grice was working, and so we always put Christmas together for our kids as a whole. But it was just like you
mhm.
already know what it. What do y'all want? Yeah, we know we're gonna get y'all some clothes. Let me know. Give me something big, a bike. You dig what I'm saying? If it's something
Mhm.
out that y'all been watching on TV, let me know what it is, and it is what it is. Taranika tell me like straight up, I want a baby fat coat. Okay, I'm going. I'm gonna get the coat, and you ain't gonna get it until on Christmas. But this is what you want. We never did the Santa Claus thing.
No.
Now, I said all of that because like so when you see the little holidays and you see people doing the 4th of July and stuff like that, do you think it's cool that they let their kids do the fireworks and do the barbecue, give it another reason just to cook out? Because to me, that's
Well,
all I think it is. I just think what I looked at it as real quick before you give your thing. I just always
sure.
looked at it as, all right, this is another day. Hopefully, y'all gonna get together as a family and break bread and just have some fun. You dig what I'm saying? And so that's I just like let it go, like let it be like that. So what you think?
I mean, it's a day off, so maybe people are celebrating that. I mean,
I had to work, but you're right though. You dig what
if
I'm saying?
everybody is off, then it's an opportunity to get together. So why not just do that?
Right,
I mean, it's really no different than anything else. And letting the kids get out there with fireworks, cool. Um, they don't know, for one, what it's supposed to mean, but hey, have an extra day off is something to celebrate anyway.
right.
So take it at that. And it's July. Everybody wants some barbecue. So why not do it? I mean, I don't think people should just sit up in, in the house with their arms crossed, pissed off, and watching reruns of Falcon's Crest because they
Right,
pissy, I mean, but whatever. I mean, but you can, as an adult, as long as you acknowledge that where it came from and what it meant to us. I mean, I think you're doing that part. And as long as you teach the kids that
right,
and then tell them, hey, you can go out here with the fireworks, everybody doing that, their friends are doing that. Why not? It doesn't hurt anything. And enjoy this barbecue.
right,
Um, so I don't see anything wrong with that though.
right. All right. I got a few people that's hitting me, but at the end of the day, I wanted to ask you something because I know you down there in Kansas City. You pretty much heard what happened to Cuz, didn't you, Antoine?
I did.
Yeah, it was kind of
Yeah.
crazy. What's up, Ruthie? What's going down? She said, "Yep, a holiday is just another reason for fellowship or to spend." I'm gonna post that one, Ruthie. Let me get that one up there. She says, "Yep, a holiday is just another reason for fellowship or to spend money." And you basically right because you got a lot of people that go all out for the fireworks, right? And I know one of my guys that I work with, man. I turned him on to Jada, and man, when I say that they spent money, he was just like, I seen him at work. He was like, man, we came through there. Like he's like, I went through there like a few times, and then all of a sudden Jada got onto it where she was like, okay, well, I'm finna buy some of these bags. I done spent so much money, give me a plate, and then let me sell them. You dig what I'm saying? And so I get it, Ruthie. It's like to me, because I'm spiritually minded. You dig what I'm saying? And so I kind of keep things in a spiritual realm, far as like what I believe in. So when I see like these little holidays and little stuff like that, you know, um, hey, if you got a little baby and they you go put them together an Easter basket or you do the Easter egg, that's cool. But I think if you in the church and you a Christian, you definitely got to let them know about the Good Friday, the Sunday, everything that happened up in that week to Christ. If it comes to Christmas and you a believer in Christianity, you got to let them know about the birth and that December 25th might not even be that day. I've did some searching on that, but that's a whole nother different topic. I'm just saying kids, food, and hanging out, I'm with it. You know what I mean? I don't
So,
really care.
so we talking about like the Christmas. I mean, do you dispute the pagan origins of it?
Oh, you talking about the Santa Claus and all of that stuff?
No, I'm talking about the pagan origins of the whole holiday.
Listen, I like I said, I've never told my kids that there was a Santa Claus. I don't care too much about you dig what I'm saying, the whole like the Christmas thing. Um, when I was in the joint, we got a chance to do like a little bit of studying about, when actually Christ was born, where he was at, and what was the timing and the date. You dig what I'm saying? Now, how it got mixed up into all of this region, I mean, all of this pagan, and then, you know what I mean, the different things that came about, the people that was getting drunk and finding somewhere, you know what I mean? I read a little bit about it, but when I say spiritual, I'm talking about having my relationship with the Holy Spirit and saying, okay, I know that he had to come for a reason, and it has totally nothing to do with what they doing over here. It
Yeah,
has nothing
i-
to do with it. It
if
has
that works for you, for sure.
it has totally nothing to do with what they talking about. And so this is a country who's been doing this for like years. So I mean, you can go around and be on an angry pedestal and be like, man, this is a lie. This is a pagan holiday. Don't celebrate that. Because you got some people that really get mad. They take it personal when you start doing it like that. To me, it's too much wasted energy. It's like, listen, I know what we doing and what we celebrating, and I know what's going on. And my prayer life, I just want to make sure that I'm teaching the main thing about our Lord, the ones of us that believe in Christ. I'm gonna make sure that I teach them the real deal about him. Because when this whole thing is over with, ain't none of that gonna matter. All of this mess is gonna burn up
No,
with
I,
everything else.
I mean, holidays at this point, it's all commercialized. I mean, come on, they getting ready to put out right now.
Advertisement and everything.
They getting ready at the 5th of July. They getting ready to put out Labor Day stuff. I don't understand why you got to have Labor Day cakes or whatever. I don't know. But then they start gearing up. So right before Labor Day or the day after, they're gonna put out Halloween stuff, right? And as
Yeah.
soon as Halloween's done, they bombarding you with Christmas
Right.
stuff. I
Or
mean, it's all.
Thanksgiving. Then they go Thanksgiving and then
Oh
they go
yeah.
and
Oh,
then
but
Black
check
Friday.
it out.
Thanksgiving and Black Friday.
But check it out. right. But Thanksgiving as a holiday itself, which is jacked up anyway. But ain't no merch other than they just go straight to, Black Friday after that, which is
Right.
crazy. They're like, they
They
got
they they
deals.
they made a way to make some money off of it. You
And
dig what I'm
Black
saying?
Friday, they don't even mean nothing no more. They got like Cyber Monday, Cyber Thursday,
Yeah.
Cyber the 4th and Cyber the 8th. And it's like, yo, y'all just, and they ain't, the whole concept of that is like it's a deal. It's not a deal. They raise the prices on you a couple months before, get you used to those prices, and then they just bring them down to it, make you think you got a deal.
Yeah, make you really
And
get
and
it
then
later.
and then it's that, and then they move on. They kind of skip, New Year's, and then they right on Valentine's Day. And while we talking about this, let's talk about the damn concept of Sweetest Day. What the hell? Who came up with that besides
What is it?
Hallmark?
What is it called?
Sweetest Day.
I never heard that.
Yeah, so I know it was a big thing. I never heard of it either till I was in Detroit, and it's a whole thing in September. It's like a different Valentine's Day, basically. So
Okay.
Hallmark out here, Hallmark, I think, is behind pushing a lot of this, right? Because that's their
Right.
business. You either buy cards when somebody born, somebody get married, an anniversary, somebody die. Uh, that's and they got to fill in those spots to make sure they have a revenue stream on it. So a lot of it is very commercialized anyway.
Right.
Um, so yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, whoever gets what out of it, if doing what you feel makes you good, or make you
Right.
feel good for Christmas, then by all means, knock yourself out.
Ruthie said, I don't get into the reason for Christmas with my son. I just say around Christmas season, we will attend church and remember Christ through worship. You can have some presents too. Laugh out loud. And I mean, I
Hey,
think
if
that
that works
the
for it,
Chinese
yeah.
holiday believe sweetest day is for men's, Valentine's is for the women. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
See, I
Yeah,
really
but
didn't
that
know
ain't how
nothing.
it ends up though.
Right.
That ain't how it ends up. I mean, that's great when in theory, but you know what
He
I'm
said
saying?
that
It was like,
if it really went down like that.
yeah, that
Yeah.
would be a good deal, but
Right.
it typically don't move that way. They're like, where am I saying for Sweetest Day? And you like,
Right.
yo,
Right.
yeah,
But listen, I'm gonna switch lanes a little bit, and I want to show you
no.
some stuff. Go ahead. What was you
Well,
about to
we
say?
actually, I don't know if you were getting into Antoine or you just wanted to leave it at that on the conversation of, if I knew. Um,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody heard. And then
yeah,
I thought Vinny Rob was gonna be on here, and I thought like some other people might have popped up because I had I keep some clips, and I wanted to show some little stuff. I wanted to do like a little tribute for him.
yeah.
You dig
I
what I'm
mean, dude
saying?
was a legend. He was a quad legend. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people looked up to that. Like, yo, we can do this. I mean, you had Michael Nunn, and then you had him, and we had Roger Craig, and all of that. B.J. Armstrong. I mean, these cats.
Hold on, B.J. Armstrong. He from here?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Who people is he? I
Oh,
know Ricky Davis. You dig what I'm saying? But I
oh
didn't
yeah,
know.
Ricky. I mean, yeah, B.J.
Ricky
Armstrong
was our guy. All right, well, listen, let me play a little tribute. Keep that in mind
for
because I
sure.
want you to speak about that because let's talk about the hometown heroes. And then what I want to do too is I want to somebody says something which was his brother, bruh, my other cousin, and
Mhm.
he said something that was so real. And me and you speak a lot about it, and we're gonna talk about it real quick. Let me get this out the way though, real quick. Let
Go
me see.
ahead,
I
handle
got
that.
to make sure I can see. Okay, bro, hometown
Can't
hero.
see.
Yeah. All right, let me go. Here we go.
This right here, tell me why, goes out to everyone that has lost someone that they truly love. Come on, check it out. Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track, you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seemed to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometime. The night they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death. Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day
And so I put that little commercial together. And as you were saying that, I got to tell you the story. Okay, so Miss Bimani's threw like a little party Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, so she had like a 4th of July type thing that was going on. Now they had a sign that says go around to the Second Avenue entrance, and I had never been in on that way. And I mean, I'm gonna just tell you how certain things trigger like events. And so you remember how we used to go down in the district, man, and how we used to be in that little strip, man, and like how it used to just go down. We done did so many summers down there. I can't think of the club that was right down there. Like what it would be across, it would be right across from Roland's, because now she got
About
Roland's.
Chantilly lace.
I think that might be it. It might be, but I ain't know. I thought Chantilly Lace might have been in the Davenport. But okay, so meanwhile, I'm going around there to Miss Bumani's now, which used to be Rollins to you since you ain't been here in a minute. And you go up these stairs, and then when I looked across the street, crazy that you from the D. So one New Year's, me and Con, we across the street at this club. I get into it with some cats from Detroit, and so I get into it with these dudes for dancing with this dude's girl on the dance floor. So all of you know me, I'm in the club and
Oh boy,
I got on cowboy boots, I got
man.
on a cowboy jacket and stuff like that. And so the dude is on rah rah, but what it is like it's two of them. So it's like him, his buddy, and then they two girls. And it's like, so as he get the yelling, Antoine like, cuz, what's going on? And I'm like, man, I said, I don't know what dude is on. I was dancing with this girl, but I told him, like, my bad, we was just dancing. It wasn't no grinding and none of that. So
Right.
make a long story short, you could tell when people got liquor in their system because they don't want to be quiet. And it's just like, so now when you see Antoine and something, so he ready to go. He like, cuz, well, hold on. He was like, man, stand back. Like, cause these niggas, they steadily running up. He was like, what's going on? So they steadily yelling. Oh man, Watina got into it. So Watina and Lamont was married at this time. So the girls are saying something. So here come Watina. She all in their face like, Bear, what's up? Do you want to smash these mother effers or what? So it's the whole Quad Cities outside. The whole Quad Cities is outside the club. So if you see Antoine out there, everybody out there, and it's like y'all four. And I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to tell him, I'm like, listen, y'all don't really want to do this right now because
No, you don't.
you
That's a
know
big
the
mistake.
the stump out is coming. You
Yeah,
dig
that's a
the stump
mistake.
out. Listen, the stump out is coming because if it go down, it's so many of us out here. It's like, bro, y'all drunk. Why don't y'all just take y'all girls and go home? And you dig what I'm saying? Now I'm just gonna keep it a buck. When you get Cuz into a mix, and then you get some of the Howards into the mix. Oh,
Oh
it's
no,
enough to tear. Listen,
man.
it's enough to get the place shut down. You
Hey,
dig
that's
what
a
I'm saying?
riot right there.
And so when I was going upstairs, man, and I looked across the street, the first thing I can do is just remember him putting his arm on me, like, cuz, like, stand back, like, cause dude is running up, like he's steadily doing, and his girl trying to hold him back, and cuz, like, hold on, cuz, you better get back for this nigga try to swing on you, like, man, you got some like beef,
You
like,
don't
should
want
we
that.
like, man, he already ready, so he fighting is not a problem to him.
That's what he do.
that's
That's
that,
bread and
that's
butter,
one.
right? Like, come
Listen,
on now.
one thing about
Then I got
family,
Mitch
man.
Green.
Sheesh. And he will go. He would swing his hands, and so it was like, see, he'd be over there, his eye be popped out. And so I remembered him. And when you said that, man, it's truly right. It's like Antoine, man. This one hurt, because man, it's like I just seen him a week ago. We was just at Save More up here, at the grocery store. And I was in line, I was getting ready to pay out, and then he was like, Cuz, what's up? And then he came up and he gave me a hug and stuff like that. And then we checked each other's phones to make sure we had each other's number in the phone. And he was like, man, I'm gonna get up with you and stuff like that. And when somebody is dealing with diabetes, you can tell that they sick. You dig what I'm saying? And so you could tell that he was going through some stuff. But I seen a post today, and so this is where I want your opinion on, because me and you talked about this. So, bruh, my cuz, and this is his brother. He says, listen, he says, my brother had diabetes. He says, but that is not what killed my brother. He says, the lack of love killed my brother. He says, every time my brother goes somewhere, people seeing him and claiming that they love my brother. But then again, they talking about his shirt. They talking about his shoes. They talking about what he wearing. Or they talking about, how he looking and stuff like that. Everybody want to know what happened to his money. And he said, he gave it to y'all. You dig what I'm saying? And he's like, I'm not blaming nobody for my brother's death. He says, but the lack of love, he says, that's what killed my brother. He said love heals, love, he had like about three different lists of, he was saying, like, talking about love, and it was some real stuff, like Mix reached out, Mix said some cool stuff, like, and it was crazy, what I mean? And somebody else is on there right now, and they were saying it
Yeah,
wasn't
like
real, you know what I mean? Like they like
like
they like,
yeah.
and you know as far as it, because you moved away, and somebody was saying they wasn't real. And what it be boiling down to, though, is that, bro was right, because he was like, the lack of love. It's just like, man, the Quad City's got a problem. You dig what I'm saying? It's just like, if they can't get nothing from you, or if they can't celebrate with you, then it seems like, they'll shit on you. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. It seems like it's always this negative cloud that's always been on the Quad City. Now, we love our people. We love our, you know what I mean, when people shining and when they doing their most. But like you did, when Mike Nunn probably went to the joint, I wonder, out of all the people houses that he was at playing spades and popping Hennessy, and you dig what I'm saying, buying fifths of Hennessy, I want to know how many people sent fam some money or put some money on his books. You dig what I'm saying? You see how they do? They love to ride that wave, if that makes any sense. But then as soon as something happened, then that's what it is.
I think a big issue that goes on there is that people that are in it haven't seen anything outside of it, right? So again, we've discussed this before. It's a level of fear and something that you don't understand, right? And if you can't relate to it, of people being outside of there and seeing different things and coming back, popping in for holidays or whatever with a thought process that is different than they had before, then it's you've changed. Well, everybody should be changing. Nobody should be the same person that they were at 18, 21, 25, 30. If you're
Exactly.
not growing, if you're stagnant, then that's not helping. But the quad has been very resistant to that kind of thing. And I think a lot of it is it puts people on notice of where they have not moved in their life. And people don't like it to stare, that mirror to stare them in the face. Right. And so they get antsy on it, right? And they have to figure out a way to justify it to themselves.
Right.
Right? And you can't look in the mirror and be like, you know what, I need to step it up and do this because this person who came from the same spot as I did is doing this. So it is possible for me. People got to justify it and say, yeah, yeah, whatever. This one person think that he better than everybody, or,
That's it. I
things like
swear.
that, and they start talking like that instead of being like, yo, what can I pick your brain on? What can I learn from you? How can I get the skills that you probably had to bump your head to get and scrape at it, and you already get this knowledge? How can I get it? If you want to use the thing to say that, oh, we've always been down and everything, then by all means, come get some of this information.
Exactly.
People ain't
Because
gonna be selfish with it, but you
because
got to ask, or be open to receiving it.
Cause soon as I see like young brothers that be like rapping or like singing, and they trying to get into this music thing, and if we like click, like whether I cut their hair, I automatically take a full responsibility to show them love, to pick their brain. Like, okay, what you doing with it? Do you know how to market yourself? Do you know how to, what I mean, make yourself profitable? Like, who is your market? Like, I used to listen to my dude's music, and then I used to just try to figure out, like, okay, you know, I seen this jam right here on YouTube. I think it's hot, but if you're trying to make yourself popular, I could tell you who you need to reach and where you need to go and how to make it happen. And then sometimes, with him, he was very receptive. But then sometimes with people, they don't want to hear that. You dig what I'm saying? They already think that they got it together. So that's where the young generation. So if it's any of y'all out there, anybody got some y'all need to tap in, man, and try to check us out, because we do know something about something. You know what I
Man,
mean?
I have always been a guy that will share that knowledge. I mean, I went to recording engineering school up
Right,
there. I had to take courses in music business and everything, and people don't understand the point system. They don't understand the concept of being recoupable. They don't
right,
understand any of those things, but they won't listen to you because they feel like, all right, like you trying to come down on them what they
right,
doing, or they just put up this barrier when it's like, yo, I'm trying to help you succeed.
right,
Or if you want to come out here and just bang your head, then by all means go ahead and do it, but you're gonna be upset.
right.
But you can't say that the information was not available to you and that people that weren't trying to give you that information. Just say that you didn't want to listen. and do
Exactly.
that. But it's nobody else's fault.
Yeah. Let me show you this real quick. This dude right here. I mean, far as like on the bounce back, I want to see which one. I hope it's this one right here. Check this out.
Eccles came back to win the round, but not by near what he did in the first round.
Come on, man. Want a little drink?
Dan Birmingham, who took over for Joe Goosen prior to the second Hopkins fight in the corner of Eccles. Birmingham 4 up, 1 down in the corner of Antoine. Round 3. Eccles, who lost his pro debut in '93 in the first round. He was knocked out by Anthony Ivory, but he later avenged it.
You know, Anthony Ivory was a very good fighter, and at that time, I think just too much to take in your first fight out, even if you could eventually beat him. Anthony Ivory could fight.
And so can Eccles, who's 28-4-1 with 25 knockouts. A victory here, and he gets an automatic shot at IBF super middleweight champion Sven Otke from Germany.
Come on, Anton. Hold behind the head. Now, here we go.
Tony Weeks cautioning Antoine Eccles for holding behind the head. Eccles wearing the red trunks. Battering away.
Big right hand. Look at the legs go out from under Grant again.
Grant on unsteady legs. And Weeks steps in and stops the fight.
That might be deemed a little quick, but only Weeks can see what was in his eyes.
Okay. And so listen. So when I was checking that out, and I remember watching that fight. Do you know how I felt like okay, not only is he family, like so we've been knowing each other, like I'm talking about we've been at same houses ever since we was like kids, just to see him come up, get into the sports world, and then get on TV, get on Showtime Boxing, be in the ring and do that. So after that little fight right there, that's when he got the shot at the other guy for the middleweight championship. It was just like we were so proud, man. It was just like, damn, man, like somebody from the hood, somebody from the town. I mean, right here from the crib is out here making some moves like that, and that's how some
Absolutely.
people feel. You dig what I'm saying? But then there's that certain hate. But when you see that, man, I'm talking about that type of stuff right there, man. It was just like that makes you feel good. Like, you know what I mean? It's supposed to.
Man, I first met him when I was probably about 13, 14, maybe. And that's what is exactly what you said. People looked up like, yo, I mean, you're able to branch out and do these things and out there. Now, what I will say is that he was um, a valuable asset to the cats that were, getting into boxing.
Hmm.
And they listened to him, and so that was a different aspect of it. I mean, at least they took the information that he had, and they made it work. I mean, there are people there right now that are moving through. Little Chino Hill is doing this thing. I know Fred Thomas, right, learned a lot from him in doing that. So it's about people being receptive, man.
Right.
And it's one thing to look at somebody and be like, they're doing their thing, but if you're doing the same thing, what can you pick up from them? And I think that's kind of what's missing up there.
Right. Yeah. And so uh I know for a fact a lot of people was inspired. Matter of fact, with Leonard, with Mike, you know what I mean. That was far as that was doing that little thing, and it's like, if you really think about it, man, it's a lot of people, man, who's like, you know what I mean, that's out here that's doing a little boxing thing, like these little shorties and stuff like that. It's like, fam, when bro was talking about people looking down on people and far as that, like, you know what I mean, y'all need to make sure that y'all can get this together, because you can learn something from fam. You dig what I'm saying? Plus he says, facts, I put all of my people onto him in the military. We would be in the day room watching him. I think that's Pook. He was saying that.
Look,
But
you
yeah,
can
man.
learn something from anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different perspective, and everybody has stubbed their toe on something else, right? There is not a person alive that doesn't have something to offer as far as their particular experience that you can learn from. You might not need it now, but it may come up. And I think once people start getting over these little bits of ego and start being willing to learn something,
Right.
man,
And so, yeah, I think that's one of the problems too, though, the ego. And then what I was talking about, like what he said in his comments, he was saying something like to the fact that the lack of love, you know what I mean? The lack of love,
Yeah,
people seeing him, and then instead of, you know what I mean, giving him a shout out. Well, one person, she quoted, chimed in and she said like a little comment, and she was just like, I just seen him, and she was like, every time I seen him I gave him a hug. And sometimes that's all people need to know, man, is that people still got love for him out there. You dig what I'm saying? It's like, I'll see Bad B, and I know he's in a messed up situation right now. But listen, I got you, Bad B, but I'm not buying no liquor. You know what I mean? And that's my motto. You know what I'm saying? I got love for you, but I just ain't buying no liquor. But like, I seen cuz it's like it's always love, man. And so a lot of times it's like when you see that dark cloud on the Quad Cities, it's always been like, man, like why? How did so much hate breed out of here? And I get it too. I think is what you said. Here's the thing, either somebody else is boxing, somebody else is rapping, somebody else is singing, and it's like, man, I could do better than them. I could do this and that. Instead of like linking up and trying to get with this person and try to see, you know what I mean? Y'all might be able to take off and do something together.
man, you already got a common thing there. You know what I'm saying? There's already the connection. You come from the same spot. I mean, it's like pulling, when you look at what you saw happen out of St. Louis with Nelly, what you saw happen out of Detroit with M, what you saw happen out of LA with Nipsey and all of that. They just pull each other up. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I got to be king of the hill or I ain't going to listen to you.
Right,
Um, that's not it. But on the other note, when you were talking about the diabetes, a lot of that, man, is just people not being educated.
right.
They don't know, and they don't want to know. And that's kind of what I want to discuss too. You see that big container back there behind me?
The white one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I got my colonoscopy on Monday coming up,
right.
and so that kind of goes into it. Like, yo, people, be about your health, and don't look
Hmm.
at somebody else as something's wrong, or talk about the way they look or whatever, because they're going through a struggle like that. How about
Yeah, man.
educate yourself and make sure that take that experience and say, you know what, I need to go get checked out. I need to go get blood work done. I need to see
Right.
where I am based on that. So take somebody else's struggle and learn from it. And that's what's missing.
Yeah.
Definitely there.
Especially
Definitely.
from here, because there is a process of learning, and a lot of people won't take it. A lot of people is too busy trying to down talk somebody. I don't know, it's as if they feel like, all right, this is what's gonna make you better. You dig what I'm saying? Because if you shit on the next person, or you try to look down on them and make them feel like they ain't nothing, to make yourself feel like something. And the Quad City's got a problem with that. You dig what I'm saying? Because it's like there's nobody that's down here that can point the finger at nobody and try to say, well, you this and you that. You're talking about you living in a town where everybody done slept with everybody.
Everybody.
I was talking to somebody, man, and we were just having a conversation. And then, like, if you start thinking about friends or friends, and then you start saying, like, okay, such and such. If you go back to it, somebody then talk to somebody all the way past through, like our parents, through, you know what I mean, when they was coming up. When they was at the Jimmys, when the Elks was the motorcycle center, the motorcycle club, until whatever was going on back in their time and how they kick it, who lived in Turnkey, Arsenal Courts, all the way to Davenport, to the little what's my man name? They used to have the after hours. I mean, matter of fact, Horse and them had one. So
Jimmy.
Uncle Marshall's, yeah, all of them. You dig what I'm saying? And so it's just like this is just a little small town. Everybody know everybody. Everybody somewhere kind of related through marriage or through like you my cousin over here and you're my cousin over there. So it's just like, man, these small towns, it's like it's the blues sometimes, man.
I would tell people, if you find yourself looking at somebody and saying the things like, you know what, they think they're better than us or me or something like that, that's an internal issue. And
Yeah.
if you feel that way, you are not secure in yourself.
Yep.
And if you are secure in yourself, then you are able to receive information on it, right? Because you feel like, hey, the only thing different between you and that person is that they ended up having the opportunity for that. And you can get that
Exactly.
same opportunity, but you got to be open to receiving the information so then you know how to go about achieving that opportunity. Ain't
Exactly.
nobody out here. I mean, when you get to different levels, nobody is out here trying to bring you down. This is not the block. You know what I'm saying? No, this is world. This is the world. Like, don't nobody care.
I don't
Like,
wake
you
up
know,
thinking
yeah,
about you and your day and what's going on with your
exactly.
day.
Like, what?
Man, I wake up trying to figure out how can I get me together and what can I bring to the table? How can I put
Exactly.
something else in my bank account? You dig what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I got going on. But you notice like when you move to like another city and you go like to a bigger city, like whether I go to Napa or whether I lived in the ATL, people are so focused on them. They
Man,
ain't got no time. They ain't
nah,
got no time for it,
nah, they
bro. They
don't.
just like everybody is moving and they got a mission and they going somewhere. I was in the a couple of weeks ago and I'm looking at all the cars and I'm just looking at faces. I'm looking at people and it just amazes me like, man, everybody is on a mission. I wonder where they're going. I'm looking at the billboards and the signs because that's life, really. Life is like about what you doing with yours, where you headed in your life and what you gonna do with it. And
Yeah,
Nicole says something about small time mentality. You know what I mean? Not at
yeah,
all. And then Pook said
not
true
all.
statement. Yeah, you know what I mean? But that's it. You know what I mean? And they need to get off that small time mentality because dude was on some great stuff. I got another little clip. I want to show this because he had some of the wildest fights, man. But you dig
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Some of his fights, it was just like, man, dude would get up off the canvas and come back. And I was just listening to dude's record when he was mentioning his record. He said he was 28, 4-1 with 25 knockouts.
mm,
So I'm just thinking, so I'm just thinking to myself, like
man,
boxing, I don't want no parts of it. That was never
nah.
that's not my thing. I don't want to be in the ring getting punched in the face. You dig what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
enjoy getting hit. I
No,
mean, I
right,
don't tolerate it, but I don't enjoy
right,
it. That ain't something I want to do for money.
right.
I'm
Yeah,
okay with that.
yeah, I'm
No,
straight. That ain't my lane. You dig
I'm
what I'm
good.
saying?
Yeah, that ain't my
But to
lane.
be in 28 fights and 25 of them,
Man,
you knocked them out.
hey, I mean,
Hey,
that's to be applauded. That's something to
hey,
be applauded for sure.
man, listen, I love that. Let me see this other one. I'm gonna stop this one. It's this one right here.
Violated as we enter round three. Those were vicious knockdowns in which he was short-circuited on each occasion. And Brewer goes right back to work.
Brewer did something I like and I like to do when I was younger. Your man was hurting around before. Test him. See how much he recovered in that minute.
Eccles' nickname is Kid Dynamite, but he got blown up in that last round, Bobby.
He sure did. And he caught Brewer and he hurt Brewer.
Eccles all over Brewer, but Eccles goes flying to the canvas.
The referee.
Right?
It's a knockdown against Brewer, not Eccles.
Brewer's was held up in the ropes. They called it a knockdown.
One of the strangest things we've seen.
Hey, come here. Come to me. You all right?
The referee went to separate him, almost like he did with Hopkins, and he pushed him down.
Brewer said, I'm cool to Ortega. Now Brewer's in trouble off that left hook. What a recovery by Eccles.
And I'll tell you what, the Brewer's still a heavier puncher here.
Oh my goodness! A roundhouse right by Eccles and Brewer stumbling around.
Wait, coming up. The back.
Brewer's is in trouble. This is amazing. Talk about a street fight.
Brewer, it's being stopped. Eccles, who was down 3 times in the last round, wins the fight.
And what's crazy is if you watch the whole fight, Cuz went down like 3 times in the fight. Now that one fight where dude pushed him down, but he got knocked down like 3 times, and he came back, man, and he put hands on fam on them
Hey, that's
last.
tenacity. That's
And,
tenacity right there,
man,
man.
and that's what I love about Cuz is because Cuz his tenacity, man, and just like his will. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, 1 minute he in Pensacola, like, sparring. He was down there with Roy Jones Jr. and them. The next thing he on the block in Americana at a barbecue. You dig what
Right?
I'm saying? And so we be on the block in the cannon down in the pit, and he down there in the pit. You dig what I'm saying? Pulling up
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Audi and stuff like that. So it's just like, fam, it was so much love, man. It's crazy. But I like that the bounce back is special. And one of the reasons why I wanted to take that video and show it and post it, people will catch up with it like later on, is that sometimes, man, life will knock you down, B, but you got to get back up. You dig what I'm saying? You got to get back up and you got to get back into it, man. And if y'all still out here breathing, man, it should be like a lesson. I know it's gonna be a big deal when we get to the funeral when that stuff come. It'll probably be a lot of people in there. But I just want to say, bro, y'all keep your head up. You know what I mean? I know it's irritating. A lot of people smiling in fam face, making it seem like they love him, and then when you see him out here and you see him going through this, man, they'll kick you when you're down in the Quad Cities. Shit.
And a lot of people in the quad will look you up and down trying to find something
Right.
that they can say that makes them feel better about themselves, right?
Hmm.
Like you said something about shoes and all that. What the hell that got to do with anything? That man might have been coming out and grabbing some groceries or whatever and just grab what was at the door. He might have been cutting his yard. Who knows? Who cares? Right?
When I seen
What
him,
is that?
when
What
I
does
seen
that
him,
mean?
he had on some slides. Then you know what I mean. He
You
had
know
on
what I'm
some slides.
saying? So what he's supposed to
Auntie,
be out
what's up?
here doing though? What he's supposed to be out here doing? Like dressed
Exactly.
to the nines to go to the grocery store or something? He's not out here trying to impress y'all.
Right.
The man is living his life, and that should be acceptable.
And I think what it is when people see you like like sick, or they feel like you ain't healthy, you ain't looking like you supposed to be, or what they think you should be looking like. But like you said, when you going through stuff, you don't know what kind of hell a person is dealing with. You dig what I'm saying? And I think what it is, people just need to grow up. It need to be like a maturity check around here, like y'all, and I don't know where to start at, fam, because you've been gone, you in Kansas City, and I've been out for almost like 2 years, and I'm ready to go. I'm just gonna keep. I'm ready to
Oh,
go. I
I
can't.
will never move back there, man.
I can't.
I'm not. I ain't with that. I can't deal with that
Yeah,
mentality,
man.
and there's no growth.
Yeah, man.
There's just no growth, and nobody
I
that's
just.
there can deny that there
Yeah.
is no growth. There are a couple of people that are there, like you talked about Icky and everything. They doing their things. You got the barbershops, right? People are moving forward with that and making some things happen in the community, but overall, if we look at the full piece of, I mean, the full pie, man, there's small pieces that are
Yeah.
on that where people are actually trying to do it. But the majority of people are not open to learning what these people can bring to the table.
Right.
Stuck on
And
their
then
mentality. Yeah.
yeah. Did you see what Pook said? Pook said his heart was too big. He would not tell people no. His motto was, I make it, we all made it. You dig what I'm saying? And you know what, Pook, you're right. And that's how he lived. That's what I'm talking about. And even Mike Nunn was on the same thing. Now, here's the gift and the curse. One of the things that I would probably say to like both cuz big Mike Nunn is the big cuz Stu Horse, and fam, me and Antoine and bro and them, the Quins, all of us, we family. Now, look at Roger Craig. Look at Ricky Davis. You dig what I'm saying? Now, even though Ricky Davis' NBA career didn't go as big as we would have thought it was, he played on some good teams, and at the same time, he made a lot of money. You dig what I'm saying? But then when you think about Roger Craig, he's in the NFL Hall of Fame. He moved away and he stayed away. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Now we can be mad at that. You dig what I'm saying? Because we didn't see him in the hood. And a lot of times that's another gift and the curse of the Quad Cities. We always think that we got access to people's life because they grew up with us. You dig what I'm saying? That don't give you access to the person's life. But I can tell you this. Sometimes I used to feel like, cuz if you would have just stayed down in Pensacola training, you dig what I'm saying? You probably would have, you know what I mean? You'd have been a lot better because coming back here, you dig what I'm saying? And then sometimes the little miscellaneous fight, whether they was with baby mamas or whatever, fam, your hands are registered. You
Yeah.
cannot be down here, you know what I mean, drinking and then doing this and that. Now, I don't say all of that to like downing, but when Kendrick said his heart was too big, he would not tell people no. That was him. You dig what I'm saying? He from the hood, and sometimes you dig what I'm saying. You can be too much in the hood. What Jay-Z said, I don't be in the project hallways talking about how I be in the project all day. You dig what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to get away from that, man, because
Man, I
once
think,
again, that negativity, you know.
look,
Oh, he
you were
said Roger Hall, Roger Craig ain't in the Hall of Fame. He got 2 rings, and like what?
well,
Oh,
he's
okay, that's
straight.
another discussion. That's another
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah,
Okay,
he's straight no matter
yeah, that's
what.
crazy.
I think people get confused with going back to where you came from, and look, you can still communicate with people and drop through, but I ain't about to be standing on no block. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense, right? Truth be told, nobody wanted to be on the block anyway. It
Right.
was necessity, and that's what was going on. But why would you pull up on the block in an expensive ass car? You a target at this point
Well, I'll
because
say
there's
this though,
gonna
real
be
quick, real
jealousy.
quick. I, I,
I'm not
I, I
talking about him. I'm not
no, I'm
talking
just
about him.
no, I'm talking about standing on the block. When you said nobody wanted to stand on the block, I think we love the block. I just don't think that we love taking the penitentiary chances. You dig what I'm
I
saying?
agree with
Yeah.
you on that. I misspoke on that. Yeah, and that maybe I didn't elaborate properly.
Penitentiary and then
Um,
sometimes pistols get the going, and it was some times where
yeah,
you
no,
didn't
but
know.
if you worth millions of dollars, I ain't pulling up to the block. If that point you're a brand and you can't be a brand out here damaging it by people that you may not even know, right? You coming out there to check on your people, people that you know, people that you were out there with. Well, there's a lot of miscellaneous people out there that ain't happy to see you,
Right.
and those are the ones you got to worry about, right? And it been and got you in some shit because they jealous of you.
Right.
Um, I think in this day and age, I think it's kind of like what Jay was saying. I'm not there doing it, but you know what Jay did? He pulled his people out.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you look at Master P, aka Luther Vandross, I don't know if you saw that. Luther Vandross.
Right.
You didn't see that today?
Nope.
All right. So for some reason, Google made a mistake. And when you Google Luther, the first picture that pops up is Master P.
Oh man.
So, but since we speaking on Pete, that was his thing. Y'all get out
Right.
the hood. Y'all don't do that. Y'all don't go to the club. Y'all don't do any of this, right? I mean, you got to operate that you on a different level because you are on a different level. You can't
Exactly.
do the same. You
And then
can't.
you see what happened to C Murder.
Yep. And he warned him.
Still
Mac,
got his still got his own apartment in the neighborhood. Them built
Mac,
it, got it, man, got the apartment looking plush and everything, and he's still on the block in the hood in the projects.
him, Mac, Mystical, all these cats that did not listen to this dude. Stay home. You know what I'm saying? Just hey, you don't have to be out here trying to do that all the time. And you see, his ass ain't been sent up nowhere or nothing. His shit is squeaky clean.
Right. Now,
That's
if
still
somebody
somebody's money.
if somebody disagree with that, like say for instance, it's a lot of people that's hometown bound and they loved it. Cause man, I gotta tell
I
you,
mean, that's cool.
but hold on, let me because I think it's the gift from the curse, and I agree with you. Cause here's the thing. Um, we love Mike Nunn. That's my dude. That's my big cousin. That's Horse, and every time we see each other, ain't nothing but love. And so there was times when we'd have been like, even like say up to Charmaine's house upstairs from Jada's house, and Cuz would come through with a fifth of Hennessy and play spades and sit there with us all day and play spades and
Yeah.
kick it. You dig
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, then he go to prison for what he went to prison for. Then all of a sudden he got a backlash. Oh man, he's stupid, man. He should have known that was the police. It's this and it's that. But nobody was saying that. Man, just think if social media was around when they was doing their big fights and they was on the block. Man, come on, man. It would have went crazy. You dig
Man,
what
if
I'm saying?
social media was around, we wouldn't be sitting here talking right now.
No,
That's for
no.
sure.
Right. And then listen to this. And so I said all of that to say this. It's like this. So we love to see you, but it's like, man, that's the realest thing that you can really say. One of the things is like this: you're a brand. You dig what I'm saying? Number one, you got to remember, out of all this hard work that you didn't put in, now you got promoters, you got agents that's after you. You getting shows on, you getting matches on Showtime. You now are going up against middleweight champions. Bernard Hopkins says that nobody has ever hit him as hard as Antoine Eccles. He said Antoine hit like a mule kick. You dig what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and B Hop is, arguably one of the best middleweight champions,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And yeah, and so now I'm talking about you in the ring with some of the with the best, of the best, and it's like you got to guard yourself, fam. You have to guard yourself. And man, I take my hat off to him, man, because his love was incredible. I think K Still said it the best, man. His heart was too big, because
Yeah.
you'll
I,
see him, a mix in him tell a story about how when he had the Audi, how him and his sister burnt the clutch out because he
yeah.
used to let him practice driving the car. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like little stuff like that. It's like you love and you want to hold on to, and it's just like, man, it's crazy, dog.
Yeah,
We lost
I
a great one.
think. I mean, when we talking about like Mike and all of that, and people that stature anyway, you are not forgetting where you came from if you understand where you are, and it's a different type of situation. You are responsible for people's salaries. People depend on you to do the right thing on that. And you just, it's a touchy thing because once you understand you are a brand, and yes, you can bring your people with you. Absolutely. But in that caveat, bring them with you with the plan to set them up.
Yeah.
And I think some of that kind of happened with Ricky. You bring all your people here, but what are they going to do?
Right.
Right? You just can't be around, and what is your plan? Right?
Right.
Get out here. You have the mouthpiece, you have the
Resources
opportunity,
and stuff
you
like
have
that.
the
Yep.
resources to start your own thing. You
Yep.
can't stay under the umbrella all day long. I mean, because eventually the umbrella leaves and you still get wet. So you want to get your own umbrella because that's what you need to do. And I don't think anybody owes anybody more than that.
Right.
But people get comfortable, man. People get
Yeah.
comfortable and they expect the cash cow to operate, and that's not fair to the person that's in the position to help
Right.
you out.
Yeah. I wish I could chop it up with Ricky. I want to try to get him on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? That'd be dope. If
Yeah,
you yeah,
yeah,
we
for
should
sure.
try to reach out
It'd
to
be
him.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be solid. Get Ricky on the podcast. Matter of
Mhm.
fact, I'm gonna holler at Cuz too. I might be able to holler at Mike Nunn and catch him on one of these days and send him the
Absolutely.
link because I know he'll definitely do it. So we can get like behind the scenes on how they felt and how they moved and groove. I think that's a big
For
deal
sure. For
because
sure.
it's a lot of talent in the Quad Cities and it's a lot of listen. To me, and I know you don't believe in God, but to me, God don't make junk. And so, no matter how much haterism is going on in the Quad Cities, there is some talented people out here. We got some talented rappers, singers, boxers, basketball. My grandson is a dog with the ball. You dig what I'm saying? As antisocial as me and him is, if I'm one of these days, I'm gonna play one of his videos and just show you if he can just keep his head straight. And I like him doing what he's doing. He's a dog with the basketball, and I just wish that we can try to, we can build more communication and saying, hey, listen, we love you, we see you. I want to support you. And if nothing else, I'm praying for y'all. You dig what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's a conversation that we probably got to continue, big dog. We got to definitely do that one.
Absolutely. And I think people need to.
Nicole brother played for the New Orleans Saints. You dig what I'm saying? So, yeah, we might
Yeah.
need to get him on there. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, but go
I
ahead, finish
mean,
what you're saying.
no, I mean, my little cousin started out with the Bears and ended up at the Saints
Right.
as well. I think he benefited from people not coming at him on that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I ever asked for the dude was to sign a football for Nate.
Right.
And what I'm saying, knock that out. But the way the family is set up, nobody was, going after him expecting anything from it.
Yeah.
Right? So the man was able to grow into a space, but still felt like he had a safe space, right?
Right.
Where he can come where nobody's asking you for something.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of these young dudes have that, and then they feel like they're letting people down if they
Right.
don't just
If they
kick
don't
out.
succeed or get
Yeah,
to
but
where they
you know
supposed to
what?
be.
You're in a better position if you come to them with a solid business plan and say, "Hey, this is what it is. I'm not looking for all the money. I just want to see if you be an investor in it. This is what I've done in my market research. This is, what I feel the saturation is on this, and this is what I feel like we can do on a return within a year, 5 years, 10 years. Hey, 5 years, I will be able to give you your money back. And
Exactly.
you can stay in if you want to." And that's all people want,
Yep.
to understand that they're not being used.
Yep. Come up with a blueprint plan. I mean, we were just sitting here talking about it today. Somebody was talking about all the money that's in the lottery. Like, man, if I hit that, I'll give it all away. I was like, nah, you got to have a plan. You dig what I'm saying? If you ain't got no plan for success, we ain't just throwing money away. You dig
Nah,
what I'm
look,
saying?
if I win the lottery, I'm coming to people, and I don't care if it's $100 million that I win. I'm coming to people. I'll kick you down with 250,000, and I will help you invest 250,000 into a particular business. I'm not going to give people who are not used to huge sums of money that, because that's a recipe for failure right there.
Destruction, man. Because
It's just
what you gonna do,
destruction.
especially if you got some drinking habits and some smoking habits, oh, you finna turn up with
Man,
that.
you out here. You
And
fuck
then
around and
then you
upset.
can't turn around. You ain't finna get up in the morning and be on top of your square and get
No,
ready to go
because
do
but you
nothing.
also ain't gonna be quiet about it when you come from that. You out here flashing. You out here somewhere as an apartment complex with a goddamn Lamborghini out here. Why? What you doing, man? What you gonna do with that? And you flashing
Man,
and you balling out in the street. Somebody gonna rob you,
boy.
and then you gonna be broke. And I'm like, okay, my thing is with this: when I kick out the funds, this is it. The spigot is off. You better make sure it works for you. And it don't matter how much I have. I did what I was going to do for you. For one, I don't want to give you anything,
I done already gave you what you gonna get. Now you got
right?
to get going.
Yeah. But
You
the
dig what I'm
other
saying?
reason for that is
Straight up,
I want people to feel like they built their own thing.
man.
You know, I will give you access to the ladder. It's up to you to climb it.
Exactly.
And, I'm not going to do it for you because you won't feel invested in that. So if I'll help you out because of who you are, and let's get it together. But other than that, no, I'm not just going to throw bread at people.
For real, for real. Because I mean,
So
you gonna kill yourself. You dig what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about them. They gonna kill themselves because
they going to kill
they
themselves.
mind ain't sharpened. They ain't never had it. It's just like so you ain't gonna know what to do. Boy, you got somebody walking back and forth. Who was that?
Yeah,
Ian back there?
yeah.
Yeah,
Letting the
yeah,
dog,
yeah. I seen
letting the
that.
dog out. She just let the dog out. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, but yeah, they'll kill themselves because they ain't ready for it,
Nah,
And sometimes it's got to come with maturity, and then we got to figure out how we gonna grow, how you gonna grow. You dig what I'm saying? And
gaining
what?
wealth and being able to manage wealth is something that will probably take some time. You got to get through that little bitty spot.
Hmm.
And that I'm speaking from what I've seen. I honestly don't know. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be talking about this shit right now. We'd be somewhere hanging
Right,
out. But
right.
you got to ease that into people. You can't just flood people with money and expect them to be responsible about it.
Exactly.
They don't
That's the
know.
reason why. That's why some people get a hold to a little something and they don't know what to do. They go straight crazy. They fly
Yeah,
out of
they lose their
town. They
mind.
fly. Yeah, they lose
And
their
then it's
rabbit.
gone. And then they
Yep.
like, what? And they
Hmm.
got 50 people with them, going out of
Yeah.
town. It's an entourage. And it's like,
Right.
yo, your shit is finite, sir. You only have a certain amount of money and you out here
Exactly.
making it rain with 50,000 people
And
just hanging out with you.
I seen that with like cuz I mean I was a witness. I was at an Americana where he come through a barbecue, man, and he'll go make a liquor store run and he'll come back with everything you can imagine. From coolers to the chicks that don't drink hard liquors. He got the wine coolers, he got the hard, he got the beer. You dig what I'm saying? And come back out and pull out everything. My man said Pook said, look at MC Hammer. You
Well,
dig what I'm
truth.
saying?
And,
True
I will
story.
say, I mean, pulling up and doing that, growing up on 42nd, um, I think it was Stephanie that lived next door in a duplex to us. And, she had Mike Quell with Mike Nunn.
Right.
And so he would pull up on the block and he was always solid with all the kids out there,
Yeah.
and just drop it down. I mean, Mike Quell had everything over there. We like, wow, what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
the
He was
Benz
there.
and every like remember
But
when he used to pull up
he
on the
would,
Benz? Like, man, like
yeah,
shit.
but he did everything for his son and, his son's brother and all of that. And um, he he was a person that was giving back, and I know Antoine was the same way. I mean,
Yeah.
he pull up on solid, like you said. You know, um, there were a lot of people that were older in age at that point that could have benefited from the knowledge that they have, whether it's within the skill set of what they're doing,
Hmm.
or to tell people about missteps. Right? I mean, a lot of knowledge is learned for where people went wrong.
Right. And I take it as wisdom. So when you make the
Yeah,
mistakes,
that's what
now
it
you
is. It's
not
wisdom.
now you got the wisdom to know what not to do
Mhm.
the next time. So a lot of times when you bump your head and you make it through, you're supposed to learn something from that. You dig what I'm saying? So
And then you
that's
pass that information on. Yeah.
exactly. So that's exactly what I'm trying to get to my kids. Matter of fact, that's why I named wisdom, because I was like, listen, I'm out here bumping my head, so I'm hoping that you learning from my life. And so, but yeah, man. Only thing I can say is before we get up out of here, unless you got something else, is like, listen, man, bruh, I love you. To all the Antoine kids, man, listen, man, we love y'all. I'm praying for y'all. Um, Definitely the funeral will be coming up, but man, when you talk about a hometown hero, like like K Dot said, um, big heart. Jada even on here. Jada just said, "Rest in peace, Antoine," like a legend. It's just like, man, every time we seen Fam when he was in his element doing his thing, it was like it was always love and always a protector. Like if he seen me out or something like that, if it was gonna be some smoke, if he's in the building, I know I got help. Like nigga, like my cousin in here, So
Right.
it makes you feel even better. It's like you dig what I'm saying, and so it hurts. You know what I mean? But we got to have these conversations. And I hope that we can get together with some more people like athletes and stuff like that. That's from
Mhm.
here, that's went on to do something successful. Vice versa, some of the athletes who was supposed to, who might not made it. It's a few of them that's around here that could probably jump on the podcast so we can talk about it, because these kids need this knowledge, man. They need to be able to get this knowledge and say, hey, man,
Absolutely.
it's steps to this thing. You dig what I'm saying? It's steps to this. And one thing y'all got to learn, if y'all got kids, y'all got to tell them respect is everything. And you got to be willing to listen. If you can't listen, you ain't finna learn. And if you can't learn, I don't know where you're going in life. I don't know where you're going. You dig?
Who better to learn from is people that have been where you are,
Boy, I
right?
just did. I
You
just
tell
did
people
15 in the
about
joint.
everything.
You want me to tell you about the joint? I can tell you about the
I
joint.
mean,
Let
you
me
know what?
come here.
Somebody that came from the quad and can tell you, look, this is what it's like out here. This is what you're trying to do. This is what I run into. That's the person to listen to, because you can't
Exactly.
say, "Oh, you city, society, or you out here." No, you know where they came from, right there, and they know what you have to deal with by being there, and they're giving you the same tips that they got to get out of there.
Hmm.
So that's the person to follow.
Right.
You
That's
know,
one of
those
the
guys,
reasons why I really want to dip out now, because I felt like the first time I was
man,
in the
get out of
ATL,
there, man.
I was not mature. I went down there. I had money. I had a car. The car got stolen. I ran through the money so fast trying to keep up with the
Yeah,
club.
my
But
damn
it's
ID was in that car.
in the lack. Oh man, listen. A pistol was in the lack. Remember the sterling silver china set that I bought off that one dude that I was gonna, man,
Hmm.
that was in the lack. The gun was in the lack. And then they found my car like a year ago and the engine was gone. But it was just like, I said all of that to say this. I'm mature. You dig what I'm saying? I know what the mission is. I know how to stay focused now. Now I know how to sit down and be mature and have a conversation with people. You know what I mean? And I know what it is to have a good work ethic to make, man, get up, get out, and go get something. You know what I mean? And so I'm telling you, man, you gotta, and sometimes you learn that the hard way. And so
Yeah.
a lot of y'all young ones, y'all need to be listening. You dig what I'm saying?
Well, some
Case,
of it is, there are things that got to be learned the hard way, but then there's self-inflicted wounds sometimes.
right,
If you decide that you are determined to bump your head or stub your toe, nobody can stop you from doing that.
right,
But you can't say somebody didn't try. And I
right,
think that's a lot of what ends up happening in the quad. People are so determined not to hear what you have to say that they
right,
stub their toe anyway.
right.
And so,
Okay.
mm,
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Maybe you could probably try to I don't know if Mark, somebody, I know somebody know how to get in touch with Ricky. We could probably get in touch with Ricky. I'm gonna work
yeah,
on getting in
yeah,
touch with Mike
yeah.
Nunn. You dig what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure he
I'll
gonna be
work
home
on
for the
that.
funeral. Yeah, cuz will be home for Twine's funeral. So I'm gonna get a chance to chop it up with him. You dig what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to get Overstreet back on here. You dig what I'm saying? And you know, let's try to have this conversation, because I think we're on the right path, because if we can get them to just like listen, if we ain't got to try, we might not save them all, but if we can get like one or two out the basket, you dig what I'm saying? It'll be well worth it, you
And they
know?
don't have to agree, with the advice, but you know what? If you disagree, at least have in your head why you disagree. And if you can't
Hmm.
come up with a valid reason of why you disagree with it, then that's just hate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get ready for work. I got
Yes,
my food
sir.
and stuff. I'm just gonna relax for like a minute, but I'm gonna go back out and I'm gonna play the little salute thing to him again. And listen, man, we're gonna chop it up. So I'll catch up with you during the weekends when I get some more rest, because I gotta go in here to these people and turn myself into craft. They own me tonight from 10 to 6 to 6:30 in the morning.
That's
So
how it works.
yeah, listen, I started to emancipate myself or leave them, and then I opened up that check and seen that. I was like, I'll be back. Like, hold on, I'll be back. What for this? Like for what we just did?
Hey,
I'll be back. Like, hold on, let
yo,
me trip.
I've been like bucking the travel for a while. Like, I
Yeah.
ain't going it. I ain't doing it. But then they started talking about it. I'm like, fine.
Hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'll
Yeah.
dip through and I'll knock this out. So yeah, I mean, I know I'll be out end of August. I got to go to Vegas for 10 days, but
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's what pay the bills. So
All right.
that's it. But yeah,
That's what's
man,
up.
run that.
Okay. Love. I love you. G Nice don't, but I'm gonna holler back at y'all in a minute. I'm gonna show y'all this little thing once again, and then we out of here. Peace. Ball head nuts. One.
This right here, tell me what goes out to everyone rock the show. I lace the track, you lock the flow. So far from hanging on the block for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seemed to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometime, the night they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.